How's it going, everyone? This is John Johnson. Sorry, it looks like some people are having a hard time logging in, and I'm trying to figure out exactly why, because there is no code it's asking for or anything like that. So I'm just kind of sending out a message here. I went ahead and copied the link. I'm going to get with corporate after this and ask again. I was asking them for the last hour, but anyway, for those of you who are on it, great, and I guess other people will be able to listen to the recording. I'm going to be covering a lot of stuff tonight and a lot of very important stuff. Sales training. So this is not the opportunity call. This is closing prospects, getting prospects, building your business, that kind of stuff. I'm not going to go through many slides and stuff like that. I just really want to share with you what I'm doing to build my business, how I've had so much success so early, and what you can be doing to build your business. But the first thing I want to cover is this. It is essential, absolutely essential, that every single person who joins our network, if you're joining for the business, not just the savings, but the business opportunity, you've got to learn this business inside and out, frontwards and backwards. And you should know what other people are doing, what other businesses are doing, what makes us unique, what makes us different than anyone else. I'm actually going to go through the biggest questions and hurdles that you are asked as our network members. Believe me, I know what they are. I've heard the same questions. I've jumped through the same hoops to get closings. Okay, question number one, or concern number one. Let's just cover it. This is a Ponzi scheme. This is an MLM. Oh, not another one of those schemes. Not another one of those MLMs. What do you do when you are presented with that? What's your answer? What's your response? Let me share something with you. I get that all the time. And guess what? I overcome that all the time. I swear to you, I probably sign up 95% or more of the people I speak with. The majority of the people I speak with sign up. Why? Am I doing something magical? No. Am I doing something different? Not really. I just understand the differences between what our network is and what other opportunities are selling or offering. I mentioned this a little bit on my last call, and it's important, it's vital. When you get prospects out in front of you, that's your chance. That is your chance to close them. Getting prospects is hard enough. Closing them is tougher. Closing them is tougher. So what are you doing when you have that opportunity? Well, let me go through it. What makes our network different? I clearly pointed out on my call last Thursday night during the opportunity call. Most MLMs, and again, I'm very truthful, okay? I don't hold back. I don't BS. I just tell how it is. Most MLMs are designed to make the top 1 to 3% of the people most of the money. Period. They just are. That's why when you go from this one to another one, to another one, to another one, you see it over and over and over again. How many people on this call, either listening live or listening later, have been in MLMs where you've figured it out, you've worked your butt off, you made money, only to watch a carpet pulled out from underneath you, and you have to go join another group 3 months later, 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later? How many of us have that happen to? How many of us has worked our butts off and never made a dime in MLMs? Just worked and worked and worked. And we're like, oh my goodness. I'm telling you, that's the concern. When people give you concern, it's the same thing you went through. It's the same concern you had when you jumped ship from another MLM. You've got to empathize with these people. You can't just say, oh, no, it's not a Ponzi scheme. Oh, no, it's not just another one of those, and say, just trust me, it works. I'm making money, it works, it's fine. You've got to address that concern. You've got to tackle that sucker head on, because it's not going away anytime soon. That is the number one concern you're going to hear. So let me explain to you how I get past that concern. And it's easy. You've got to dissect things. A good salesperson has the ability to look through stuff. What I mean by that is you got to look past the surface. Yes, we're saving money. And you can say, well, we're saving money. That makes us different. We're like, yeah, but it's just another savings club. Okay, yeah, well, we're going to get paid on swipes. Yeah, but that card doesn't exist yet. Okay, this is what you're hearing. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is what you're hearing. Yeah, but that's a few months down the road. That doesn't exist. So right now it's nothing. It's nothing better than a savings club. That's what you're hearing. So break it down for people. Learn it for yourselves. What does make us unique? Okay, you can, here's an answer, and this is an easy answer, but it's not always a complete answer. You can say, okay, well, look, yes, but we're saving money on cars. Well, I don't always buy a car. Well, you can potentially save money on a mortgage. Well, I only refinance every once in a while. Do you know why they're giving you answers like that? You may be able to save money on medicine. Well, you know, I'm not really taking prescriptions. They're giving you those answers because they don't want to commit, because they're still hung up on the fact that they've been burned in the past and they've never seen it work for themselves or somebody else. So they're just throwing answers at you just so you leave them alone. And they're just like, you know, they're just at some point, they're just kind of pulling them out of the air. I'm telling you, that's exactly what's happening. So let's go back to the biggest concern that we run into every stinking day. Okay, I can't make money with these. They never work for me. In this one, yes, you can. Why? We went through this Thursday. Why? Because it's different. What makes it different? Simple, the math. The question I always ask them, and they really have to think about it. I'll say, you know what? I agree with them. I said, you are 100% correct. It is hard to make money in a typical, standard, traditional MLM. And I'll say, I'll explain to you why this is not your standard. Yes, there's a matrix. Yes, you want to get your 3 and your 10. Yes, I agree with you 100%. But why are we different? And this is a question I ask them, and I want everybody to really, truly understand this. Where does the money come from? Where does the money come from? Ask people that when they give you that excuse. Where does the money come from? Well, what do you mean, John? I said, it's simple. Which MLM have you done in the past? Ask them. So then they start sharing stuff with you. Why you want them to share it with you? Because if they share it with you, you can overcome it. If they just say, well, I've been burned in the past. Really? How? Which one? What was it? What were you selling? What were you retailing? What was the auto ship cost? What were the parameters? What were the hoops? Was it a binary? Was it this? What was it? You need them to, you need that discussion to happen. The best salespeople in the world ask questions and they listen. The best listeners make the best salespeople. You've got to take the time to ask questions back, because what else are they going to say? They're already telling you no. You might as well ask them some questions and keep that conversation going and get those concerns out in full, because otherwise you don't even know what you're comparing this to. So if I had a friend named Sally, hey, John, I got burned in the past. Oh, really? How? What was it? What were you selling? Were you selling juice? Were you selling oils? What were you selling? Okay, how much did they cost? Walk through it with them. Do you know why? Because you are basically identifying their pain, and then you're going to turn around and give them a solution for their pain. When I taught sales guys years ago, I'd always say, look, identify their pain and find them solutions for their pain. I don't care if it's medical collections. I don't care if it's what your memberships. I don't care what you're selling. What is their pain and how do you overcome that pain? What makes it better? Well, this is what you do. Say, for example, they bought oils and cost them $100 a month, $100 a month, $100 a month. Now say 1,000 people signed up. I'm just walking, and I hope you guys are writing this down and watch this 10 times if you need to. You've got to understand this. If it costs them $100 a month, so say corporate signed up 1,000 people. Corporate just made $100,000, correct? Now, do the math. Corporate has rent on their building. For example, I'm throwing theoreticals at you. They have $10,000 a month on their rent. Okay, now how much do they have left? $90,000? Now what if they needed all 1,000 people to break even? Well, it's impossible. They just spent $10,000 of that. They're only at $90,000. So the best you could hope for is $90. You're in the whole $10. If everybody made what they made back minus what corporate spent, they'd all lose $10. Okay, so now let me ask you another question. You're at $90,000. Now, let's say your top distributor went out there, busted his or her butt, and he or she made $20,000 that month. Take $20,000 off that. Now corporate has $70,000 to pay out. Now, the best you can hope for is everybody gets paid evenly. The other 998 people left, 999 people left, because one person made 20 grand. Now there's only $70,000. Take that, do the math at $999. That's just barely over $70 a month. How much did you spend? $100. It is literally impossible for everybody to make money in a traditional MLM. It's impossible. It will never happen. I'm being God's honest truth. It won't happen. The cards are stacked. And then now let's say, for example, well, they just paid rent. They just paid this one distributor. What if there's a second all-star and they made another $10,000? Now they're at $60,000 of that $100,000. Well, guess what? They also have employees. They got to make payroll. Oh, they got to ship this stuff. They got to pay their investors back. They got to pay their board. They got to pay. So there goes another $20,000 a month. Now they're at $40,000 a month. Now they can only pay out 40%. And you've heard these compensation plans. Well, we pay out 40%. We pay out 50. We pay out 30. We're really high. We're at 50%. 50% to 100% of the people, because all their money came from the sell from most of your customers are who? Your distributors. So if the majority of your sales came from your distributors who are on auto ship, you're paying 50% out. You can't pay more than 50% of the people. I mean, you can't, I guess if you pay them $1 or $2 each a month, I mean, it's not, the math just doesn't work. That's what they're saying. When your friend comes to you and they say, all right, John, I've been burned in the past. No, you haven't been burned. You just got into a broken model, a broken system. You were in a traditional MLM where they had to raise the price on this product to make their margins. And at the same time, they had to put you in a system where you had to become a diamond or double diamond. You had to constantly requalify. Is anybody feeling the pain right now? Can anybody on this call relate to anything I'm saying, what I'm telling you? I promise you, I bet almost every single person can relate to this because we've all done it. This is why I left MLM years ago. So why in the world am I so heavy into rNetwork? I'm making a heck of a lot more than I spend. I have made more money in rNetwork than I've made at any other MLM ever, and I've done it in 4 months. And I'm a sales guy all the way through, and it was even hard for me to do it back in the day. Now, obviously, I've learned more over the years, and I've gotten better, whatever, and become a larger network. But now let's talk about the rNetwork math. And this is what I say to people. Let's talk math. Now, I said, with this, you're asking for $38. Out of that $38, what do you get? First of all, what do you get? You get a savings portal, you get the travel, you get the dining, you get the events, you get the R-Auto, the R-Mortgage, the R-Mobile. How many people on this call have done R-Mobile? Are you saving more than 38 bucks? Yes, most likely you are. Mortgage, if you do the mortgage, most likely. If you're going to refinance your house to save 38 bucks, let me tell you something. Don't refinance your house for only $38 a month savings. It's not worth it. But how about the cars and everything else? And everything else they're about to throw in here. Now think about this. For $38 a month, how much of that is paid up line? $25, right? Roughly, because it's $2 if someone comes beneath you, or $2.50. And I explain this to people. It's $2.50 if you get your 10. So worst case scenario, corporate's making $13 a month off each person. So now corporate's paid. They can pay their overhead. They can pay all their stuff. And they don't have to take money away from all these people to do it. And then they can give you the opportunity and say, all right, now let's take this other $25 and pay it up to the TBS. They're paying the majority of it, but here's what's cool. I said, what happens on our auto? They're like, I don't know. I said, well, did you know we had a pool? One of the biggest things, let's go to concern number 2, because you can wrap this up in the same conversation. What's concern number 2? John, only the guys at the top make all the money. Have you ever heard that? If I'm not at the top, I won't make anything. Not necessary. Actually, that's not even true in the old MLMs, because if you work your butt off, you could still build in line. It's harder to, but even in this one, that's not true. Why? We've got a global share pull. The guys at the top, they decided to be unselfish and say, look, I can sell 1,000 cars. I can bring in a ton of cell phones underneath it. I could do all that stuff, and I can make a big fat commission on top of what I'm already making at top. No, that's not what rNetwork is. And you tell people there's a global share pool. Well, what does that mean? It means the guy above you that's working his butt off, or the lady above you working her butt off, or sideline to you, the money they're earning, the company goes into a pool, and guess who gets to share in that pool? Just by getting 3 business partners. You do. Like, what? Really? I said, yes. And guess what? You get it every single month, as long as you have 3 people working with you, month after month. So what people above you do, you share in that money. You share it. It's a global pool. It's really cool. And I said, and what else is awesome? Go out and use a stinking product. When you drink that bottle of juice, did you just make $100 by drinking that? Or did you get sick because you are only supposed to drink 2 ounces a day and you drink half a bottle? When you use our products, are you saving more than you pay? If not, use our product. And as more products roll out, the best way to close somebody is to use the darn thing and show them how much money you're saving. There's number one. Because it at least takes a little skepticism. They'll say, well, I don't know if I know how to build it. Okay, well, you know what? Partner with me and I'll show you how to build it. I will work with you to build it. I don't want to sign you up. You're not just another name for me. You're my business partner. Let's become business partners, prospect. Let's become business partners and let me show you how this is done. Let's work this business together of a whopping overhead of $38 a month, and let me show you how it's done. And the first thing you need to do is learn it. I need you to sign up. I need you to join our world, our Rise Up, our team page, or whatever team you're on, your team page. And I need you to stay plugged in. And I will stay plugged in with you, and we will game plan together. On Mondays, we will talk to people this way. We'll make calls, or we'll go out and talk to people, or we'll run an auto dialer, or we'll run the Rev system, or we'll buy leads, or whatever. Make a flipping plan and stick to it. If you tell yourself you're going to do something Monday, then darn it, do it Monday. If you tell yourself you're going to do something Tuesday, then do it that Tuesday, that Wednesday, that Thursday, that Friday, that Saturday. Don't ever promise your person you're going to do something and then not do it, and don't ever promise yourself you're going to do something and not do it. I had my mom and sister here today, and the first thing I told them, I said, when you join our network, it's easy. You're opening your business. You are now open to the public. Your doors are open. So treat it like a business, not a hobby. If you do this halfway, expect less than half the results. You cannot do anything halfway and expect it to be amazing. You just can't. It's so funny because you think about it, gosh, should be the biggest no-brainer of all time. A lot of us believe that, but you know what? That's not how everybody thinks. Society is different. We're all different, right? That's what makes this world such a wonderful place. We all think differently. People will see it and they automatically revert to concern number one. This is just another one of those MLMs. Because again, they're thinking of exactly what I just explained a few minutes ago. You've got to explain to them why this is different, why the math is different, why it's set up differently. How are they benefiting? Show them the immediate benefit. And it's not just savings, because again, they may not be on prescriptions or meds, or they may not be look in the market for a car or refinance or whatever. If they are, great, it makes it easier, but they may not be. And that's okay, that's fine. You can still close them, but you've got to understand what makes us unique and different. Why does our model work while others fail? Why is our retention higher than everybody else's? And this is before we even have the card. Wait till we get the card. Now, I understand it's going to be easier when the card comes out, and that's fine. That's great. But you know what? Why in the world wait? I'm afraid to see how much I've made in our network because I don't know if I'm allowed to, but it's a lot more than I've saved, and I've saved a lot. This works, but you've got to understand what makes it unique. And you've got to point that out to people who have those concerns. And many times, and then talk to them and listen. Many times they'll throw a concern at you and it's completely different than what they're really thinking. They just think, you know what, I'm just going to tell this guy it's like everything else and I'm done with them. Maybe they're not ready. Maybe something else is going on in their life. Talk to them. Ask them questions back. You know, I don't have any time. Okay, really? What if we put a game plan together? Well, what do you mean? Well, you know what if we took 20 minutes a day for the first while, 30 minutes a day? Once you see it start working, why don't you dedicate 45 minutes a day, an hour? Can you give me 30 minutes a day at first? Can you do that? If I help you build this business alongside your side, can you give me 30 minutes a day if I can give you my time as well? Is that fair? Well, I guess I could do that. Okay, great. Let's do it. Let's do it together. Hold their hands a little bit. When you first sign somebody up, it's okay to hold their hands. Never stop holding their hands. And go in there and do everything you can to help them build and be productive. And I can sit there and show you all, I can show you all the greatest and latest and the best funnel systems on the planet. But if you don't know how to close someone, those funnel systems are worthless. You got to learn to close people. You got to learn to talk to people. You got to learn the differences. Now, I can tell you right now, we're working on some amazing things with the Rev system. I can't get into it, but I think you guys are going to be pleasantly surprised what we do with the Rev system. Why do we put that system together? For you. For you. We're going to have all sorts of stuff in there, and I'll let it become announced when it's announced, but I like the direction it's headed. I like where it's going. Okay, we've got an amazing system, and you're going to have access to it. But again, even with the leads on that system, when you pick up the phone to call them, what are you going to say to them? How are you going to close them? Are you going to close them with a card that's coming in a few months or whenever? Or are you going to address their concerns right now? You know, that's what you've got to get to. That's where you need to be. So let's talk about another concern. We talked about time. And again, time commitment, a lot of times that's an excuse, but at the same time, maybe it's real. Let me throw this at you. Every single person that joins an online business or has done online business is obviously looking for something else. And a lot of places you can recruit or other places that have online businesses. And I'm just I'm just very direct. You know, I'll just ask them, how's this business working for you? And be honest. You know, I'm not recruiting you. You're not recruiting me. Just be honest. How is it working? You've been busting your butt on this business for 8 months. You know, you ask them that. Is it doing well for you? What are the hurdles you're running into? Oh, yeah, let me kind of share with you what I'm doing. Let me share with you why I kind of left that model. It's no knock on you. Just let me share with you why I left that model. Because it was just really difficult. I found something I feel is a lot easier for people like you and I to build and to have success. Because literally, we're making money by helping people save money. That's what we're doing. We're not trying to convince them that our oils will save, you know, add 20 years to their life. We're not trying to explain to them or, you know, convince them that our drink cures cancer. We don't need to do that. Do people like to save money? Ask them, do people like to save money? Do you like to save money? Of course I do. Of course I like to save money. Okay, let me show you how you can do it. Let me show you how you can make your money back just by saving. So it's going to help with retention. Understand the killer that the lack of retention is in network marketing, and talk about that. Talk about that kind of stuff. Then open their eyes to other possibilities. You get them in and they say, all right, now that you're saving a little bit of money, now that I've showed you this, now let's talk about the big picture. This bank, this card, sell them the vision afterwards if you need to. You can either sell them the vision before or after and just say, look, let's bust our butts, let's put a game plan together, let's work together. And then once that bank rolls out, let's onboard people into the bank. Why? Because we've talked about the payroll possibilities. We've talked about possibilities all sorts of ways. You know, what happens when we're able to sign up the mom and pop shops and all that. And I don't want to get ahead of myself, but obviously that's going to come at some point. It's okay to talk to prospects about that once you've kind of engaged with them a little bit and say, okay, with the other opportunity you're working on, how much oil or how many drinks do you have to sell a month just to break even? How many do you have to? Did you know if I went out and I signed up one company on payroll, you know, the potential I can earn on that one company? What if I go out and sign up a couple mom and shops? You know what that potential is? Are you willing to go down this road with me for $38 where you can turn around and save $38 within a week if you really try to? Are you willing to do that? Okay, great. Then let's do that together. That's how you sell. You've got to form that bond, that partnership, but you got to find what their real pain is. And you've got to ask those questions. You've got to have discussions like this. And yeah, it may take a little bit longer, but be brutally honest. Tell them why you're doing rNetwork and don't just say, well, because I'm saving money. Don't leave it at that. That's too vague. Get into it. Dig deep. Peel that onion back. Ask them why they're telling you no. Just seriously, well, why no? You haven't even looked at it. Well, it's just like any other. No, it's not. If it's like everything else, I wouldn't be doing it. I wouldn't be presenting this to you if it was like everything else. Because if it was like everything else, I would have said no myself. Let them know that. Have some passion behind what you're talking about too. And you know, it's the funniest thing. The more you understand an opportunity, the more you understand the differences, the more passion that comes out when you present it. Why? Because you're confident. Actually know what the heck you're talking about. So you don't have to kind of mutter your answers and say, oh, okay, goodness, here we go. And I hope he's listening or she's listening. I hope they, no. Be confident in your answers because you know this inside and out. That's why Ed Turnover, when he always says stay plugged in, he means it. Stay plugged in. It's very important. Know what the updates are. Know what your resources are on this. If you have, and let me explain something to you too. Another thing, don't hurt yourself in your business. We've set things up a very specific way for help. We've got different pages. Our world is what? As an opportunity page. Why in the world do I sign on to our world and sometimes I say, hey, when is this coming out? When is that coming out? That's a prospecting page. That's not where those questions belong. Support at rNetwork.io. Our Rise Up, we're members. When is this coming out? That's the official. My team page, that's not where that's a prospecting page. Those questions are Rise Up support. Why? Because that's what they're there for. We have prospects on those pages. We don't want somebody going on there, oh my gosh, this is taking too long, click, click, click. Oh, enter. And the prospect looks like, what's taking so long? Is there something wrong with the company? Is there what in the world? What if that's your prospect that saw that? And then I want to turn around and try to close that person the next day. Good luck. You just told your prospect that you don't even believe in the company yourself. You're sabotaging yourself by putting questions in the wrong places. Don't do that. Our Rise Up questions about time when things roll out, what's taking so long, whatever, and try to be positive with the questions. Always do that. These guys are working around the clock, literally working their butts off to bring you all the stuff that they've talked about. And they've already brought you a lot of stuff and more's coming. But you got to make sure the questions go to the right places. Support our Rise Up. All the announcements that come out of our Rise Up, you can count that as holy writ, scripture, whatever you call it, gold, whatever you want to call it. It comes from our Rise Up, run with it. So now I always tell people my default answer. When somebody asks me that question, I say, that is a great question for our Rise Up. Because even if I know the answer, if I'm not allowed to say it until they say it. I'm just not. And so I can't. I won't. Because that's how you control the message. Meaning that, for example, I'll tell you a perfect example. We have something we want to roll out, and then all of a sudden, the third party or whoever we may be working on, oh, let's change the terms of the agreement. Let's change the contract. We got to bump it back a week or two. We got to bump it a month. That didn't come from corporate. That came from the third party. Well, if we told you it's going to roll out on October, people say, I want a date. I want a date. Darn it, I want a date. Okay, October 15th. What if it doesn't roll out on the 15th? And now guess what? Prospects look at us, oh, they're just liars. They're scammers. They don't know what they're doing. They're just full of it. No, it's because something happened behind the scenes that forced that. It bumped it. So until they're signed, sealed, delivered, ready to implement, programmed in, all that, then our rise up, it'll come from Dave. If it comes from Dave, it's gospel. Comes from anybody else, it's speculation until Dave says it. Okay, just, I mean, it's very, very important to know that. We've got to streamline that messaging to make sure that it's precise. That way, what happens is, wow, they hit this date, they hit it, they hit it, they hit it. Okay, all from one source, and then on our pages, we'll regurgitate that message, and as members, you regurgitate that message. Try not to jump out in front of yourselves. Now, as a training, let's talk about the 3andMe and then the sharing pool. Another thing to go back to your friends with and say, hey, you know what? How many people have you sold in the past with the fast start bonus? Well, you can make a fast start bonus only to know the next month they won't get that same bonus and they're right back to where they started. Oh, I made $500 this month and then next month I made $0 again. Okay, this fast start bonus, if you will, or top off, it pays every month as long as the original 3 people you sign up stay engaged. If they're active, you get the top off. What does that mean? Simple. If you made $20 that month on commissions, you're 18 short, they will pay you the additional $18. You still need to pay every month. You don't just stop paying. It's kind of like you pay for something, you get reimbursed, right? So how cool would it be like, I was in real estate for years. I pay rent, then I sublease it to somebody else. I pay $1,000, I sublease it for $1,000. I pay, my tenant pays me $1,000, I break even at the end of the month. That's just what this is. That's what this is. You pay the 38, and then your 3 people, you can think of them as tenants or whatever, but they stay active, they pay, you are topped off, you're reimbursed. You will always make a minimum of $38. Now, if you're making $50, then you're not going to be paid that top off bonus. You don't need it. You're already ahead. That's how it works, to top them off, to make sure they don't lose money just by getting 3 people. 3 people to do what? Save money? Then now they need that in the first 30 days. Why? It's incentive. I marvel when people say, oh my gosh, can they extend that? Can they extend? No, and nor should they. That's called a fast start for a reason. You don't want to keep extending things and extending things and extending things. It's incentive to get it done. If I extend it 6 months, then the company's not going to grow quick. The bigger it gets, the better it gets. We need that growth. We need that consistent. Why? Because then we can negotiate better deals for you. On the card, bigger savings, better savings, more areas of savings, more countries where they save, all that. It all depends on the size of the network. We are the product of this network. The savings, that's a bonus. That's a stip. That's whatever you want to call it. We are the product because we leverage ourselves to go out and get better deals. And I tell people that. I said, what other network marketing company is like that? They need us. They want us to stay active. Your old plan, they want to pay the top 1 to 3% and then hope you guys hang on. And they know you're going to drop out in a few months and they're just going to keep replacing you. They're going to burn through as many people as they can and sell and push as much product as they can. That's the old model. What's our model? They need it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So what do they need to do? Incentivize you to stay. Give you more savings. Give you the ability to have a top-off bonus. Give you the ability to share in a rev pool. Are we understanding what this is? Now, how do we get our prospects to understand what this is? That is so much different. We finally have a company that actually cares about us because we're part of their business model. They're not trying to sell us an overpriced product somewhere. They're not. They need us to stay. They need us as badly as we need them. And they don't need 3% of us. They need as close to 100% of us as they can get. Because then they can leverage that network and go out and get better deals. That's how this is being done. That's how this is being built. That's why you see so many more things. We're going to have more products roll out all the time. They're just going to get rolling out. Corporate will make all those announcements. It'll be international, it'll be domestic, it'll be all over the place. All sorts of things happening right now. Places being screened, people being talked to, contracts being negotiated back and forth, all sorts of things. And again, going back, where does the money come from? Okay, we know about the $38. How about the auto? You know, if we buy, or the mortgage, you refinance a mortgage, well, there's money there. These merchants are given something, and guess where a lot of that's going? Either upline or in the pool or both. So more money. As people save money, money is being generated. Let's go to the swipes. Where does the money come from? Somebody swipes their card. Corporate's not paying that. The store who accepts that card is paying that, and you're getting part of that fee. So again, let me ask you, can they pay 100% of us? Yes, they can. Can they do that in the old model? No, they can't. So never get stuck on that concern. This is just another one of those darn MLMs that want to take my money. No, it is not. Very important to understand that. That right there will get you over a lot of your concerns. When people can see that, then all of their concerns that they just threw at you start to kind of magically disappear. It really does. The next thing being credibility. Oh, credibility is a big one. Okay, great. That's why we have a home office. That's why we have people behind with the bios and everything else. And we have the testimonials. Say, you want to question our credibility? Okay, great. Let's take the next 5 minutes and let's read 200 testimonials from our world together. Sit down with me. Let's get on a Zoom. Let's jump on a Zoom, or I'll come over and we're going to read through these testimonials, these hundreds or thousands of people that are saving money, doing exactly what I told you what would happen. They're doing it. Is that enough credibility for you? Let's do that. Challenge them on their answers. Throw it right back at them. To say, you know what? Okay, throw me the credibility. Let me show you credibility. Let's go to Provo together. Let's go. Let's look up their address. Oh, there they are. Let's read about their, their bios on their members. People like Trent and Roger and people that have been with NASCAR and Google and stuff. You think that they're going to do anything crazy and outlandish that's going to smear their names? No way. But again, let's show them the testimonials. Not a lot of people can relate to Trent because they're not Google guys that have done all this, but they can relate to people that have lost money. So why not sit down and read testimonials with them? Take them to our world. That page is a credibility page. Now I ask you this, why in the world would anybody go onto a credibility page as a member and complain about something? That's horrible. That's like just stabbing it. That's like stabbing yourself right in the chest. You're trying to close a deal and you're doing stuff like that. No, think before you type. Think before you act. That kind of stuff. Be a professional. Okay, have I been frustrated because things have taken a little bit longer? Yeah, of course I have. We all have. But you know what? They eventually do roll out. Things roll out. And sometimes they roll out something better than what they were talking about because they enhanced it, which is what made it take longer. Be a professional. Always talk to your prospects as a professional. Never allow your prospects' negativity to bring you down even one level. Always rise above. Never make them question what you're doing and why you're doing it. Never allow them to see that they're able to make you question it. You want to close your prospects? This is the kind of stuff you do. Confident, truth, just ask questions, listen very well, learn it, learn what makes it different, share the differences, the testimonials, use the product yourself. It is amazing how many people in our network haven't even logged in to use the product. And then they're trying to sell something that they haven't even tried to use themselves. How do you do that? I've used almost every product we have. And guess what? I believe at this point in time I'm the top earner in here. And I'm not saying that to toot my horn, but I live and breathe this. Why? Because it's my business. I treat it as such. I treat this as my business, as my career. This is what I do. And if you have another job, great. After your work, schedule your time each week and schedule time to work this. If you want to switch careers and do what it takes to switch a career. Friday night, guys, Friday night, Atlanta, Georgia, I promise you, I swear up and down, I believe this will be one of the best network marketing meetings you've ever seen. I honestly believe that. We're going to live stream it. I know Dave said he's going to do it. He's going to announce how to live stream on it. I want everybody that can get there to get there. I'm telling you, it's going to be worth your while. I hope we fill that place with prospects. I hope there's standing rooms behind the seats where we get more than 200 people, which we probably will, and people have to stand because it's going to be exciting, it's going to be electric, and it's going to be full of truth, and it's going to be full of passion, and you're going to learn a lot about the leaders. You're going to learn a lot at this meeting. That I can promise you. Okay. Listen to this call over if you need to. learn those differences, share them. We'll talk more about the Rev system as it ramps up. There's some things going on behind the scenes you're not aware of yet. We will get to you and let you know what those are. But in the meantime, everybody, God bless. Wednesday night, the Wednesday night call, I know I'm going to be traveling Wednesday. I'll probably have one of the trainers step in and try to do the opportunity call for me Wednesday because I'll be flying to Atlanta that day, that night. And so anyway, see you guys Friday night in the ATL. Love you. Talk to you later. See you. Bye.